Friday, and you know what that means? It is time for the weekly Friday fishing tip. I'm fishing with Dom, and if you know anything about me, you know one of my favorite species to target are catfish. Now, in Michigan, we have channel catfish that seldomly get over 10 pounds. Sometimes they'll get up to 20 or 25 or so, but there aren't too many. And then we have a fantastic flathead fishery on the west side of the state where some fish break the 50-pound mark. But either way, fishing for any sort of catfish is very, very similar. And a tool that we use is called a sliding sinker rig. And this is used all over the country. It's very easy to use, and I'm going to show you how to do it. First off, let's look at our ingredients for destruction. We have our hook. This is the 4/0 Berkeley Fusion Circle hook. These just came out. They look really, really nice. I snell it to my trilene leader, trilene, C-gar, P-line, whatever you want to use. Catfish aren't picky. It doesn't have to be fluorocarbon. It doesn't have to be monofilament. Catfish are some of the easiest fish to catch, and they're not as specifically or as fine-tuned as a lot of people make them out to be, compared to walleye or bass at least. I snell the hook to about 18 inches of line, just like this, and then I set it down. And then I will take my main line coming from my rod tip and my reel, and what I have here, I have this bright orange Catfish monofilament by Stren. This is just my riverbank spinning rod line. I use this for channel catfish most of the time. I'm not getting big fish. So this is a 10-pound monofilament. Very bright. It reflects in a black light that I put it under if I'm fishing at night. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your end line and your sinker of choice. Now, I personally use no-roll sinkers everywhere I go. If you see these, they've got a very wide profile and they're entirely flat. This way, when you're fishing in current, this weight positions itself exactly on the bottom, and it's not going to blow and tumble compared to an egg sinker like this. I was fishing the Tittabawassee last year with my good buddy, Chris Blackmer, and we were fishing in moderate current with enough weight to hold it down in one place, but because this sinker is round, it slowly started to tumble into the current. Hence where no-roll sinkers come into play, where they don't roll in the current because they lie flat. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the end of my line right here, and I'm going to slide my sinker on just like this, just right through that pilot hole, just like that. So it has all this action to slide up and down the line. And next, I'm going to take a sinker bumper, like this one. It's a little rubber puck. You thread through your line, and this way, this puck absorbs the shock and the stress that could be caused on the knot connecting to your swivel from the weight itself. Now, you don't have to use one of these fancy rubber catfish pucks. You can use a regular glass or plastic bead. It's no big deal. You just thread it on there just like that. Next, you take your swivel of choice. Just about any swivel will do as long as it's strong enough for whatever you're fishing for. When I'm on the west side of the state and I'm targeting giant flatheads, I make sure I get beefed up equipment because you never know how big a fish is going to bite next. Alrighty, and you just tie that up real quick. I got just a basic fisherman's knot. Trim it down, looks just like that. And so coming down from the rod tip, this is what you're going to have. You're going to have your weight of choice, whether it be a no-roll or an egg sinker, your sinker bumper or your bead, and then your swivel. This way you can see the bumper in action when that weight slides down on top of it. That knot isn't taking any stress from the weight at all. It's just absorbing all the shock. And that's very important when you're fishing with monofilament and high-impact sinkers. In Michigan, our catfish rigs are relatively small compared to the rest of the size of the country. I seldomly fish over 1.5 ounces of weight when, if you fish the Ohio River, you need 4-ounce weights to get you down deep enough and position your bait properly. And that's just too big for some of the fish we have in Michigan. But I'm hoping to change that theory this year. I'm going to go out and really target some of the biggest channel and flathead catfish I can find. And now from the beginning, I showed you my leader, my hook, all the way up to this line. And it's going to be as simple as this. You're just going to take that leader and tie it to the other end of the barrel swivel. Now, some people say catfish aren't as color oriented when it comes to line, but I always just like to run the clear line. Oh, dang it, I didn't get it on the first try. Here we go. Let's give it a second try. But if you're running a traditional catfish monofilament like I am, where it's really bright, I always use a clear leader, just so it looks a little bit more natural sitting in the water. Now, whether it be a fluorocarbon or a monofilament, the choice is all yours. It's not too picky. Now you just tighten that down, thread it up in there. Oh, wow, I'm just having trouble. There we go. And I'm going to get my fingernail clippers, because you really shouldn't bite line with your teeth. That's not good for the enamel. Trim your tag end off. Bada boom, bada bing. This is what you have. Coming down from your rod tip, you have your slider sinker rig right here. Very simple, but very effective. You have your weight of choice, the bumper, your barrel swivel, your leader, going down to your hook. Now, leader is a very subjective length. Sometimes I rock a couple of inches. Sometimes I'll have it a foot, generally no longer than 20 inches long, just so I can really position that bait in a good spot. But the whole benefit to the sliding sinker rig is when that catfish picks up on your bait that you're putting on the bottom and they're starting to carry and swim with it, this weight is going to keep your bait positioned on the bottom, waiting for the catfish to come along. But because it's going to slide through the sinker, that catfish isn't going to feel the weight of the sinker and let go of the bait. And your rod tip will be moving the entire time there's activity on the other side. But there we go. I've used this on flatheads and hundreds of channel catfish over the year. It works a lot better than permanently fixing a weight onto the line. But then there's another option you can go with instead of threading your sinker of choice onto your main line like I did right here. You can get a sinker slider rig if you're fishing in various currents. And it looks just like this. You can put, there we go, there's a little bit better shot of it. You thread your line through the top right here, and then there's a swivel on the bottom. And what you do, you take your weight of choice. This is very good when you're fishing in different rivers, or if you need to go fish a different spot and you don't want to fish as heavy or as light as what you were doing. And all you do is thread this rig onto there, and you're ready to go. This is very efficient. It works the same as the threaded sinker rig like I did here, but this is an excellent way in case you need to change weights. But I use this quite often when I'm fishing around different rivers. You know, we might be fishing up here where the current's a little bit faster, but then downriver, I might need to switch it up a little bit, and that's where it comes in handy. But if I'm fishing lakes or reservoirs where I know how the current and I know where I'm going to be fishing, I keep it simple and just have everything rigged up already. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being patient with me for getting out this video. Things have been crazy here at the university. I'm moving out, and I've got finals coming up, and you know, I love making these videos, and I hope you like them as much as I do. If you have any ideas for future segments, please let me know in the comments or shoot me a message. Thank you for watching Fishing with Dom. Bye-bye.